Deborah, it's a total pleasure to see you here in Shannon today. Sorry that there's a little bit of rain about, but because we're so open here, we get all sorts, 4 seasons in one day, as the old song goes. Just to kick it off, it's your first time in Ireland?
Yes, yes.
Great. Okay, so you're blazing a trail. Can you tell me, great to make the connection first of all, about your sadly late dad. Can you just give me a thumbnail sketch as to your dad's history? Tom.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Tom Johnson, he first of all he was the navigator on the
DC-6.
on the President Airlines flight that went down on the 10th of September of 1961. He was born and raised in the area around the San Francisco, California. And when he graduated from Stanford University, he went directly into the Navy, and World War II was in progress, and he became trained in the skill of being a navigator for airplanes. And so,
just to cut across you for a second, Stanford University, obviously quite a prestigious place to study. What was he studying over there?
He was studying math and engineering.
Wow. Okay. So bright spark.
Yeah, he was a bright mind.
I'm sure it runs in the family.
Well, I will say that we were blessed with his DNA.
Okay.
So he went in. He only served for a short while before World War II ended. Actually, I don't believe he saw any live action. I think he was still finishing his training when the war ended.
Kind of in reserve, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So he was still based in San Francisco at this point.
Still based in San Francisco at the time. As soon as the war ended, he was hired by Northwest Airlines as a navigator.
I spent one summer here in Shannon working with Northwest.
Really?
In their cargo department. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Literally a couple of weeks, yes.
It's really a small world.
Foray, yeah. So he kicked off at Northwest.
Yes, that's where he started. And it turns out that he met a young woman named June Perry, who was a stewardess for Northwest Airlines.
This is your mum?
That was my mother.
Yeah, and your mum is still with you?
Yes, she's 92 years old now.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
She's doing well.
My own mom died a few years back. She made it as far as 98.
Oh, good for her.
She thought as she'd put it in her own lingo, she thought she'd do the ton.
Oh, really?
She was 2 years short of it.
2 years short of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So your mom is still with us. Fantastic.
Still with us,
yeah.
So he met June Perry. She was a stewardess. She
with Northwest.
With Northwest, and also she was known for being a beautiful woman, and actually helped the Navy, the U.S. Navy, with recruiting.
Okay, I saw that.
Yes. Yeah. She actually was nominated as the recruiting queen. I'm not even sure what that was.
So this is your mom's background, okay?
Yes.
And she met him when she was serving with Northwest?
Yes.
Okay.
And so they fell in love, and they married, they started a family. He was still working with Northwest Airlines at the time. I was their the beginning of their family.
Yep.
And then
you were number one on the runway.
Number one on the runway. That's right. And then along came my sister Gwendolyn.
Yeah.
And she was so about the time she came along, I believe, is when the engineers that worked for Northwest Airlines went on strike.
Okay. Yeah.
And Tom would not cross the picket line.
Okay.
He was in solidarity with the engineers. So because of that, he was put under some disciplinary action and suspended. His employment was suspended for an extended period of time. And during that time, because he needed to provide for the family, he took on employment, a temporary contract with President Airlines.
President Airlines.
And at the same time, he was starting to see the light. He was beginning to forecast the fact that the Navigator position was going to be going away.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of the
it was almost a thing of the past at that stage.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially with the DC-8s and 707s coming in. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So his role would have been.
It would have been terminated.
Yeah.
And so he went to the University of Washington and got enrolled and actually was just about completed with his master's degree in nuclear engineering.
Wow.
When the event happened, where the crash happened.
And ultimately, what sort of career would he have pursued with that type of a qualification behind him?
At that time, the doors were wide open for people were very excited about all the possible rollouts of nuclear. The fact that they had discovered the power of the nuclear atom, but also the energy, the medical. There are so many
applications of it.
Yes, right. Yeah. So many byproducts. I guess you'd say.
So he really was a bright spark.
He was a bright spark. Yeah. So he was like in the finishing touches of his master's thesis when the plane went down.
He was a piano player as well.
And he was an accomplished piano player. Yeah. Some of my first memories are I could barely stand up and holding the piano bench, and I could see him playing the. Yeah. I could see the keys going up and down.
You can see that in your head.
Yes, I can still see that. Yes.
Yeah. He wasn't scheduled from what you told me over the course of a few emails. He actually wasn't scheduled to do this flight per se. He was a fall-in position.
That's true.
Yeah.
Amongst others, as I've learned from your work, but he and my mother had just returned from a vacation.
They were here and they were in
Ireland and Paris.
Okay. That was only a week or two before?
It was only a week or two before.
Am I correct in saying that they last saw each other in Idlewild Airport in New York? Was that the last sight of each other?
And
which is modern day JFK.
JFK.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They had about 1 hour together in the airport.
Your mom had a certain sense about this. She had a.
Yes.
Because you're not the only one who, in terms of my research, that got a certain vibe.
Yeah.
About this.
My mom was very impressed with the premonition. Mm-hmm. Probably the strongest premonition she's ever had of anything in her life. Mm-hmm. She begged him. Mm-hmm. She begged him because what had happened is the navigator who was contracted for the flight had called in sick.
Okay.
And so with that, my dad was the next one on the roster, which
he got picked?
Yeah. So he got called and. As soon as he was called, my mom asked him, "Why are you doing this?" Because I guess he still had some choice in the matter, whether to say yes or not.
Had this not happened, Deborah, when would he have left President Airlines?
This was his last flight.
Now, it's funny you mentioned that because you'll have seen from the research, the first character I came across on the flight was Erika Urban, that absolutely stunning stewardess from Austria. Now, her sister was an air hostess, Edith, and they had become disillusioned with President Airlines. It's kind of, for a whole host of reasons, it's kind of ramshackle, fly by night, if you could use that phrase, nature. And she was making her last flight. Erika was going to go into the hotel business. And this is where it gets really sad, is because Erika had an uncle, Joseph Backbar from Austria, who had a little hotel empire, a chain of hotels. She was making the last flight. Herself and her sister were living in Long Island. They flipped a coin. Both of them were leaving. Edith and Erika were leaving. and somebody had to make a last flight. It turned out to be Erica. The same situation applies as well to the other stewardess, another absolutely stunning stewardess, Lisa Jackson.
Oh my goodness.
Now, Lisa Jackson, it sounds like an American. It wasn't. She was actually from Finland.
Oh my goodness.
And she was from an area that was invaded twice by the Soviet Union. There were two skirmishes between the Soviet Union and Finland in World War II. It is to go back into the history. But her family, I think they got separated. She was adopted by a couple in I think New York.
Wow.
So she had actually married. She was only just married, and I think herself and her husband were moving to either Malaysia or Indonesia. But just like your father, just like Erica, it was the last bloody flight, which makes it so poignant.
It's terrible.
Did you know that there were 2 aircraft on the ground in Shannon that night?
I had read a little bit in your work that you sent
Your
me.
dad's airplane was the Theodore Roosevelt.
Yes.
Because it's president, they were all named after presidents. The other aircraft was the Woodrow Wilson.
Oh my goodness.
And here's where it gets tricky. This is what I had to decipher the research. In the case of Erica, she had actually flown from Paris.
Oh my goodness.
And what it was a group of physics students from one of the colleges on the east coast of the States. If these physics students had been in Germany, so they somehow come from Germany to Paris, catch the flight. So the flight came into Shannon, as all flights did, because the airplanes didn't have the range. So you always had to refuel in Shannon. She was on that flight. The other flight, the Roosevelt, was a charter flight taking a group of mainly German and Austrian farmers to a conference in Chicago. And they were going to do a tour of farms in that area in Illinois to look at American farming methods. So these are progressive people.
Yes.
But what it was a junket. It was either an American or a German steel mill, and as a kind of a customer loyalty thing, they gave them this ticket. So they paid for the charter.
Oh wow.
So whether, in terms of your dad now, Captain Tonninson was staying in Ennis in the Queen's Hotel. It's a well-known hotel in Ennis. Ennis is the same distance as Limerick is from Shannon is in the middle.
In the middle. Okay.
Yeah. It's like a bicycle wheel. Shannon is in the centre. These are the spokes. Captain Tonninson, I know, was staying at the Queen's Hotel, and I'm just wondering, was your dad coming from the same point? Because it was a different crew that flew the aircraft it flew from Dusseldorf to Shannon.
Right.
Now the crew changed, and this other crew went on.
Yes, because my dad had he was coming from Idlewild.
Yeah.
So I don't know where he stayed that night.
It might have been that. There are 2 hotels in Ennis, the Queen's Hotel and the Old Ground. And to this day, the Old Ground, if you walk up and down the corridors in the Old Ground, you'll see photographs of American crew and British crew and every other crew that would have stayed there back in the 40s, the 50s and the 60s.
Wow.
Anyway, amazing. This crash, the 10th of September 1961, which, by the way, I don't know if you know it or not, Captain Tonninson's birthday.
Oh,
Did you know he was 40 years old?
That's huge.
The night of the crash. Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, that's something I only found out recently.
Wow.
So just to talk for a moment, Deborah, about how did the news break stateside? Where were you at the time? Where were you living?
So we lived. Our family lived in Seattle, but my mother, because my mother and father had been on vacation, had planned a vacation, they had entrusted the care of myself and my younger sister to my grandmother for that week, 2 weeks. And So my mother, as I mentioned earlier, my mother and father had their last kiss goodbye in Idlewild Airport. That's because my mother was headed to California where my grandmother lived.
Oh, okay.
So my sister and I were in the Bay Area.
That's your grandmother on your dad's side?
On my dad's side,
Okay.
his mother.
Okay.
So, and his brother lived in the same area.
Okay.
So when
His brother was called Thor? was
Thor.
it? That's
Thor
very
was
Norse, isn't it? Yeah.
Very Norse, yeah.
God of Thunder, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and his dad's name was Ernest, you know,
Okay.
so, and there was a Norwegian
Thread through it, yeah.
thread through. And so we were at my Uncle Thor's home and his wife's home, and with my cousins, and I was just under 4 years old, and my sister was just under 2 years old. And I was out watching the news with my Uncle Thor, and my mother was in the back room with my aunt, Ginny, Thor's wife, and she was kind of showing all of her nice little things she had bought in Paris and in Ireland, and, you know, wanted, you know.
It was still fresh, in other words?
It was very fresh. She was maybe a couple days into being back into the States. And so, we had not traveled back to Seattle yet. So my Uncle Thor and I were watching the TV news, and the news came on of the crash. And it's so funny because in your video you show the picture of the plane before the crash and the plane having crashed.
Yep.
And those pictures were, I remember those pictures.
You remember seeing that, yeah.
From that day, and I had not seen those pictures since that day. So, but yeah, so when that news came on, of course, being a little bit under 4 years old, I had no idea why my uncle jumped up and went back to.
Do you think he knew
make
straight
a phone
away?
Call. He made a phone call to confirm, but he
had a gut feeling, though.
Yeah, he knew. He knew. He knew. And all I knew was, after he explained it to me, he and my mother explained it to me, I suddenly knew my daddy was never coming back. And that's very hard. And unbeknownst to her at the time, she was already pregnant with their number three. Yeah, their third daughter.
Okay, God.
It was, just.
Was did she know it at the time?
I know that Tom didn't know it yet, and I don't even know if she suspected yet.
Wow.
It was that early. Yeah, it's just.
It's such a sad story, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's a sad story. But it's also very sad from perspective of the airport here.
Yes.
As per the book, all of these events took place over 15 years, 46 to 61. Now, the same year, 1961, there was an Air Corps crash here at the airport. There's 5 people died in a de Havilland turn.
Oh,
but that's another story. The airport itself responded very rapidly to the President crash, unlike the other crash, the 1954 crash, the KLM one, which closed down the airport.
Yes.
And there was criticism left, right and centre over that. And you can read about it in the book, and you'll say to yourself, surely that couldn't have happened like that. But as I said, that's another story, so I digress there. You probably got it from the video I recorded with a guy called Pat O'Connell, right? Pat's father was an airport APO. And like all of the airport staff, there was absolutely no recognition of what we call PTSD today, post-traumatic stress. It just didn't exist. So all of those people had to just go into work the next day and carry on. And the same for the Gardaí, that's the police force here in Ireland, right? They were picking up debris for this months afterwards. Yeah, it was horrendous. It was horrendous. There's another story that comes out about unfortunately, the undertakers and what happened there. Again, it's in the book.
Actually, I mean, brings me to think about this whole community in just a completely different light, because, and to think about even the 1961 disaster in a different light, because I never knew that side growing up. I only knew my loss, my personal and my mother's loss, you know.
Of course, yeah.
But to learn of I don't even know how to describe what I'm seeing, but it's like the heart of this community in the way they reached out and protected and cleaned up and followed through with the aftermath and everything else.
Yeah. It was the last major crash in this country.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's been quiet since 1961. A few little incidents, okay.
Yeah.
Air shows and a couple of random things.
But the thing is if you think about how many people were out there trying to rescue, and how many people went out there with the hope they would be able to rescue somebody, and instead they were met with death and destruction, and that's
you've seen the reel of it, the black and white movie reel of the crash site. You can see what the mud here. We're very close to sea level here. Yes. So it's like you have an ocean of water, but you also have an ocean of mud when the tide goes out. So they were finding that they were waiting on tides the whole time, between tides, to get out and do this. And most importantly, Deborah, aviation in 1961, there were still no cockpit voice recorders. They hadn't happened yet. Flight data recorders didn't exist. So the reasons for this crash, they were speculating, okay? Artificial horizon. Yeah. They might have found something there in that wreckage, mangled as it would have been at the front of the aircraft. The tail was the only recognizable piece. Sure. And for some reason, they hovered on the aileron push tab, which gives the airplane roll, and the rods that control. Now, I don't know why that became focus. Now,
to a more normal level.
You have the distinction, Deborah, of being the only one connected with President Airlines who's made the journey here. Most of my visitors have been in connection with the Alitalia crash.
Oh yeah.
I had visitors connected to the 1958 Dutch crash off the coast of Galway. Dutch visitors. Last year. So I connected up with a lot of Dutch researchers. The only other person who came forward to me about President Airlines was Erica Urban's brother's best friend, who, through the process of osmosis on the internet, found the documentary, saw what it was straight away. He sent me an email and he said, I just don't know. I don't know at this stage if I will tell his friend about this, and because of his sister. I don't think he did. I don't think he had the heart to kind of bring that up all again, even though it's a long time ago. It's still 65 years.
I know.
65 years. I'll tell you something else. I will be doing a feature on the first Shannon crash at the end of the year, on the 28th of December 1946. We had our first crash, the Star of Cairo. What a name.
Wow.
Crashed on an island not far from your dad's crash site. Not far at all. I'll take you there in a short while.
Wow.
And so I will be marking that. Okay, it's not just a cheesy way of plugging my book now. But it needs to be marked. It's part of our history.
It is.
It is part of our history. With that, Deborah, what I think I'm going to do is bundle you into the car. Your husband can come with us, and I'll take you on a guided tour.
Guided tour.